If you're new to the investing world, you've probably heard quite a lot of this recently.
NVIDIA.
And with all the hype that's going on at the moment and the company stock price basically flying through the roof, it made quite a lot of people wonder whether they've missed the NVIDIA train or whether it's too late now to invest in the company. Well, today I'm going to go through why NVIDIA is so successful at the moment, understand their business model and financial records, which will lead us to answering the big question, is it too late to invest in NVIDIA? So with that being said, let's jump into it. Back in 1993, three people started a company focused on making graphics better for gaming. One of them was Jensen Huang, who is still NVIDIA's CEO until today. But here's the thing, they were not just making gaming better, they were, by accident, laying the groundwork of what would become the backbone of artificial intelligence today. But to understand why NVIDIA is such a big deal at the moment, we need to go back to a critical moment in 1999. You see, in 1999, NVIDIA developed something called GPUs, which stand for Graphic Processing Units. These chips were incredible at handling millions of tiny calculations at the same time. Think about it like this. While regular computer chips, often known as CPUs or Central Processing Units, work like a really smart person doing a very complex job at a time, GPUs work like thousands of people doing very small tasks at the same time. And here's where the story gets really interesting. In 2006, something has happened that would change everything. Some researchers at Stanford University made a discovery that would later alter the course of computing history. They found out that these gaming chips do something extraordinary. They could accelerate complex mathematical operations in ways normal processors couldn't even dream of. Now, most companies might have just nodded and moved on, but NVIDIA saw something bigger. They made a decision that would later prove to be revolutionary. They invested all their resources into making these GPUs programmable. Now, gamers didn't really need this feature. They probably didn't even know about it. But for researchers, they now suddenly had access to supercomputer processing power in consumer hardware. Fast forward to today, and NVIDIA isn't just a gaming company anymore. They are at the heart of the AI revolution with two powerhouse chips, the H100 and the A100. And as for the AI and deep learning market they serve, this market is projected to hit $190 billion by 2025. That's not just a market, that's a gold rush. And NVIDIA has all the shovels. But let's break down exactly how they got here and why they're dominating the market. NVIDIA's success isn't just about having good technology. It's about how they position themselves in multiple key markets. In their latest quarter, NVIDIA reported a gaming revenue of $2.6 billion, which is quite impressive given that gaming isn't their main business anymore. The real story is in their data center revenue. In the first quarter of fiscal 2025, NVIDIA reported $22.6 billion in data center revenue alone. That's not just growth, that's an explosion. We're talking about 427% increase from a year ago. Put that into perspective, that's like a restaurant serving 427 customers for every 100 they had a year ago. Why? Because every tech company running AI at the moment needs NVIDIA's chips. But who is actually buying all these chips? Well, let's look at NVIDIA's customers list. Microsoft, for example, is using millions of NVIDIA's GPUs for their AI project, with reports of collaboration worth over $2 billion annually. Meta, also formerly known as Facebook, isn't far behind. They're expected to spend upwards of $12 billion on NVIDIA's GPUs in the upcoming years, which is mostly going for their metaverse project. Google and Amazon are also major customers of NVIDIA. Although these two are trying to build their own AI chips at the moment, they still need NVIDIA's technology, which tells you quite a lot about NVIDIA's tech lead at the moment. Then there is OpenAI, the company behind the famous chatbot that everybody loves, ChatGPT. ChatGPT was trained on a supercomputer that was built with 10,000 NVIDIA's GPUs. The level of processing power we're talking about here is just beyond imaginary. Now here's a number that might blow your mind. NVIDIA controls 70 to 95% of the AI chip market. That's not market leadership, that's market dominance. And that shows in their financials. In their latest quarter, NVIDIA reported 26 billion in revenue, which is up 262% from the same time a year ago. And the profit margin from this 26 billion revenue is 75%, which is very unheard of for a hardware company. And here's some more interesting news. Jensen Huang recently made a prediction that almost sounds too big to be true. He said that over the next 5 years, we'll see $2 trillion worth of data centers powering software around the world. That's double what we have today. And we are already seeing signs of this massive expansion. Microsoft just committed 1.8 billion to data center leases over the next 5 years. That's almost 100 billion more than they committed to just 2 years ago. By the way, if you're finding the information in this video useful, then please make sure to like and subscribe to the channel so that you can get notified with any new similar content. So let's go back a year to see the full picture of this. The GPU market was valued as approximately 37 billion in 2023, but it is expected to grow at a compound annual growth rate of 30% through 2030. Why? Because we are entering what's known as the next industrial revolution. And yes, the AI boom plays a big part in all of this. Companies aren't just buying these chips for fun. They're transforming their entire operations. Healthcare companies, financial institutions, automotive companies, even climate scientists are now using GPUs for weather predictions. Now you might think NVIDIA is all about AI chips, but that is just part of the story. First up, gaming, NVIDIA's original claim to fame. In the second quarter of 2024, NVIDIA's gaming division pulled 4.1 billion in revenue. That number tells you, while they are revolutionizing AI, they are still the go-to choice for all serious gamers around the world. But here's something that most people don't know about. NVIDIA's IP licensing business. In just one quarter, they generated 150 million in revenue just from licensing their patented technologies. That's pure profit just from other companies paying to use NVIDIA's innovations. It's like having a money printer in the background while they are working on bigger projects. And it doesn't stop there either. NVIDIA's professional visualization segment brought in 427 million in the last quarter, up 45% from a year ago. They are powering everything, from architectural design to medical imaging. And as for their automotive sector, their revenue reached 329 million from that part of the business in the first quarter, which is up 17% from the previous quarter. If you look at the bigger picture, you'll find how fascinating this is, and how the technology they developed for gaming ended up helping AI, and how their AI advances feedback into the automotive solutions. It's not just multiple revenue streams, it's a complete ecosystem where each part makes the other stronger. Up until now, I've been talking about why NVIDIA is so successful, but no company is without its challenges, and NVIDIA faces some. Well, first, competition is heating up. While they are dominating the market now, companies like Intel and AMD are not sitting still. Even tech giants like Amazon and Google are currently working on developing their own AI chip. However, that's not the main issue that NVIDIA faces at the moment. A bigger potential issue for NVIDIA at the moment is their supply chain. You see, at the moment, NVIDIA is relying heavily on Taiwan semiconductors for the manufacturing of their GPUs. And with the growing tension between China and Taiwan, this can cause quite a serious vulnerability for NVIDIA. And not long ago, the US export control have specifically targeted the sales of AI chips to China. And last year, the Biden administration have banned NVIDIA from selling their most advanced GPUs to Chinese customers. They even restricted the sale of the less powerful chips that NVIDIA developed specifically for the Chinese market. This matters because China represents 20% of NVIDIA's revenue. These restrictions force NVIDIA to constantly redesign and adjust their products, creating special chips that are just weak enough to be legal for Chinese sales, yet still powerful enough to be useful. It's like walking a tightrope between maintaining access to the massive Chinese market and still complying with US national security concerns. But while all of this is happening, NVIDIA is still doing just fine. And to see how fine they are doing, Let's have a look at some of their financials. In just the first quarter of 2024, they pulled in $26 billion in revenue, which is triple what they made the same time last year. And let's look at their balance sheet. Right now, NVIDIA is holding $47 billion in assets with only $12 billion in liabilities. In other terms, they own a lot more than what they owe, giving them incredible strength and flexibility. Their yearly revenue projection hits about $35 billion, marking a 30% jump from the previous year. And from all that revenue, they're keeping about $13.5 billion of it as pure profit. Every quarter, they generate roughly $5.5 billion in operating cash flow, which is real money that they can put into research, development, and expansion. So let's address the question that everybody's asking. Is it too late to invest in NVIDIA? Well, since 2023, NVIDIA's stock price has surged by nearly 750%. Meaning, if you've invested $1,000 in NVIDIA back in 2005, today you'll be sitting on a portfolio of $912,000. Now, numbers like these do make people think that they've missed the boat, but there's no need to worry because every single day over the last year would have been a good day to buy NVIDIA stock. Because even with all the gains they've made, the company's growth is not over yet. NVIDIA is not just riding the AI wave, they are powering it. Their newest chip architecture, Blackwell, is already seeing insane demand, and they are also now expanding into new markets such as the automotive and healthcare market. And as for the AI revolution, that is just getting started, as analysts are predicting that the AI market would reach $1 trillion by 2030. So, is it too late to invest in NVIDIA? Well, the evidence suggests otherwise. While past performance doesn't guarantee future results, NVIDIA's dominant market position, expanded opportunities, and strong financials paint a really good picture. Think about it this way. We're not just looking at a company that is making computer chips. We're looking at a company that's powering the next industrial revolution, from AI to autonomous vehicles to healthcare and many other fields. NVIDIA's technology is becoming increasingly essential to our future.